My wife's work trip was actually 10 days with her ex. I moved out while she was gone. My wife left for what she said was a mandatory work conference in San Diego. 10 days, all expenses paid. Big opportunity for her career. She took an Uber to the airport at 5 a.m. Said she didn't want to wake me that early. I kissed her goodbye while I was still in bed. Told her I'd miss her. That evening, I'm going through our credit card statements and I see a charge from a hotel in Lake Tahoe. Not San Diego, in Lake Tahoe. That's when I knew. I had 10 days to figure out what was really going on and decide what I was going to do about it. Spoiler alert, she came home to an empty house. Let me give you some background. I'm 46. My wife just turned 44. We've been married for 16 years. Got 2 kids, daughter's 14, son's 11. I work as a diesel mechanic at a trucking company. My wife's a regional account manager for a commercial cleaning supplies distributor. We live in Sacramento, expensive as hell, but we make it work. My wife travels for work sometimes, client visits, vendor meetings, training seminars, that kind of thing. Usually it's just a few days here and there, maybe once every couple of months. I never thought much of it. I trusted her, didn't have any reason not to. We'd been together for 18 years total, married for 16. You don't make it that long without trust, right? About 2 months before this all went down, my wife told me about this big conference coming up. Said it was in San Diego, 10 days, that it was mandatory for all regional managers. Said they'd be doing intensive training on new product lines, sales strategy sessions, the whole thing. 10 days seemed long for a conference, but she said that's how her company did these big events. Fly everyone out, put them up in a nice hotel, really invest in the training. She seemed excited about it, said it would be good for her career, that there might be opportunities for advancement if she made a good impression. I told her that's great, go kill it. She kept mentioning it as the date got closer, saying she was looking forward to it, that the hotel was supposed to be really nice. The night before she left, we had dinner as a family. She told the kids she'd be gone for a bit, but would video call them every night. She told them to be good for me, help out around the house. After the kids went to bed, we packed her suitcase together. She was bringing nice clothes, business casual stuff, some dresses for evening events. Everything seemed normal. She was up before me the next morning. Her flight was at 7 a.m. The Uber was coming at 5 a.m. to get her to the airport on time. I woke up when I heard her moving around, stayed up to see her off. She kissed me goodbye while I was still in bed, said she loved me, said she'd text when she landed. I got out of bed and watched the Uber drive away, then went back to bed for another hour before I had to get the kids up for school. Got the kids ready for school, went to work. She texted me around 10 a.m. saying she'd landed, that the hotel was nice, that she was heading to the first session. I texted back saying, "That's great. Have a good first day." That was our last normal conversation. That evening, I was paying some bills online. We have a joint credit card that we use for everything. Easier to track expenses, get points, whatever. I was going through the charges, making sure everything looked right. That's when I saw it. A charge from that morning, Hyatt Regency Lake Tahoe, posted at 9:47 a.m. When I clicked on the charge details, it showed a reservation for 10 nights. I stared at that charge for a couple of minutes, thinking, what the hell? Lake Tahoe, not San Diego. My wife had told me she was going to San Diego. Her flight was supposed to go to San Diego. But here's a hotel charge in Tahoe, posted the same morning she left, for the exact number of nights she was supposed to be gone. I checked her flight information. She forwarded me her itinerary weeks ago. Sacramento to San Diego, direct flight, 7 a.m. departure. But if she's in Tahoe, she never got on that flight. Tahoe's only about 2.5 hours drive from Sacramento. She could have rented a car and drove straight there. I called the hotel, Asked if they had a guest registered under my wife's name. The front desk person said they couldn't give out guest information. I said, I'm her husband. I'm trying to reach her. Can you at least confirm she's checked in? They put me on hold. She came back, apologized, and said she could not give out that information. Frustrated, I just figured she did and hung up the phone. So, my wife lied. She's not in San Diego at some work conference. She's in Lake Tahoe. The question was why and who was she with? I started thinking back over the last few months. Had there been signs, changes in behavior, anything that should have tipped me off? She'd been on her phone more than usual. Not dramatically, but I'd noticed it. She'd changed her passcode a few months back and didn't tell me why. And I didn't ask her why, but it was suspicious to me. She'd been working out more, taking more care with her appearance. I thought that was good, that she was feeling better about herself. Then I remembered something. About 3 months ago, she'd gotten a friend request on social media from someone. I'd seen the notification pop up on her laptop when we were watching TV. She grabbed the laptop really quick, closed it. I asked who it was. She said just someone from way back, nobody important. I didn't think anything of it at the time. I opened up my laptop and went to her social media page. We were friends on there, but I never really looked at her page. I scrolled through her friends list. It took me a while, but I found him, her ex-boyfriend from way back. It looked like they were in college together. The guy she dated before me, they'd been together for like 3 years, broke up right before she and I met. I heard stories about him over the years, but she always said they lost touch, that she had no idea what he was doing now. I clicked on his profile. He lived in Reno. That's right next to Tahoe. His profile showed he worked in property management, wasn't married, no kids from what I could see. I scrolled through his photos. Recent ones showed him hiking, skiing, doing outdoor stuff, a lot of it in the Tahoe area. Then I found it, a photo from about 2 months ago, him at some restaurant with a group of people, and in the background, barely visible but definitely there, was my wife. She was sitting at a different table, but it was her. The photo was taken in Reno, based on the location tag. 2 months ago, my wife had told me she was going to visit her college roommate in San Diego for the weekend. Said her friend was going through a rough time, needed support. I stayed home with the kids. She'd been gone for 3 nights. Now I'm looking at a photo that suggests she was in Reno that same weekend. I felt sick. How long had this been going on? How many of her work trips or girls' weekends had actually been trips to see this guy? I needed more information before I did anything. I went through our credit card statements for the last 6 months. I started looking for patterns, hotel charges, restaurant charges, anything that didn't match up with what she told me she was doing. Found a hotel charge in Reno from that weekend. She said she was visiting her college roommate in San Diego. Found other charges in Tahoe from a weekend she said she was at a work retreat. It was all there. I just never looked before because I had no reason to. I checked our cell phone records online. Our plan shows call and text logs. I looked up her ex's number on our phone bill. Hundreds of calls and texts over the last 4 months, some of them lasting an hour or more, most of them during times when she said she was working or running errands. I sat there looking at all this evidence and I felt like an idiot. How had I not seen this? How had I been so blind? Every late night at work, every business trip, every weekend with friends, how many of those had been lies? But I also felt angry. 16 years of marriage, 2 kids, a whole life together, and she's been sneaking around with her ex-boyfriend, lying to my face, using our money to fund her affair. The more I thought about it, the angrier I got. I thought about calling her, confronting her right then, but something stopped me. She'd lied about where she was. She thought she had 10 days to do whatever she wanted with this guy while I sat at home taking care of our kids. If I confronted her now, she'd just come up with more lies. She'd say it wasn't what it looked like, that she could explain all the usual stuff. Fuck that, not on my watch. I had 10 days, 10 days where she thought I had no idea what was going on. 10 days to figure out my next move. I called my brother. I told him everything. He was pissed on my behalf, said he'd help me with whatever I needed. I told him I was thinking about moving out while she was gone. He said I could stay with him as long as I needed. Then I called a lawyer, got a consultation scheduled for the next morning. The lawyer was straightforward, said I had grounds for divorce based on adultery, said even though California is a no-fault state, the court might consider her use of marital funds for the affair when dividing certain assets, though he couldn't guarantee it. Said I should document everything, take photos of all the evidence, save all the records. Said I should also think about what I wanted in terms of custody of the kids. That hit me hard. The kids. They were going to be devastated. Their mom was off with some guy while I was home trying to figure out how to tell them their parents were getting divorced. I decided not to tell them anything yet, not until I had a solid plan. I spent the next few days documenting everything. I took screenshots of all the credit card charges, the phone records, the social media stuff, saved it to my removable USB drive. The lawyer said that was smart, that I'd need all of it for the divorce proceedings. My wife called every night to talk to the kids. She'd video chat with them, ask about their day, tell them about her conference. The kids would talk to her for a bit, then hand the phone to me. I'd ask how the conference was going. She'd say it was great, really informative, that she was learning a lot. I'd say, that's good, we miss you. She'd say she missed us too. Then we'd hang up. It took everything in me not to call her out right there. Not to say, I know you're in Tahoe with your ex. I know you've been lying for months. I know everything. But I didn't. I played along, let her think she was getting away with it. Around the sixth night, I made my decision. I was going to move out. Not permanently. The house was in both our names. I had just as much right to be there as she did, but I needed space, needed to clear my head, needed to not be in that house when she came home. I talked to the kids. I told them their mom and I were having some problems, that I was going to stay with their uncle for a bit, but that everything was going to be okay. My daughter's 14. She's not stupid. She asked if we were getting divorced. I told her I didn't know yet, that we needed to figure some things out. She cried. My son didn't really understand what was happening, just knew something was wrong. I took the next 2 days to pack up some stuff, me and the kids, clothes, personal items, important documents. I wasn't taking furniture or anything like that, just what was mine and kids' stuff. I also made copies of all our financial records, tax returns, mortgage documents, everything the lawyer said I'd need. I arranged for my brother to come over with his truck. We loaded everything up while the kids were at school. I left the house basically as it was, furniture in place, everything normal except my personal belongings were gone. I wrote her a letter, didn't go into details, just said I knew about Tahoe, knew about her ex, knew she'd been lying, said I'd moved out temporarily and we'd talk when she got back, said the kids were staying with me at my brother's place, left a letter on the kitchen counter where she'd see it when she walked in. She'd figure it out the moment she saw the letter. Then I went to my brother's place and waited. She was supposed to come home in 2 more days. I'd video chatted with her the night before, acted like everything was normal. She had no idea what was waiting for her. Those last 2 days were brutal. I kept second guessing myself. Maybe I should have confronted her first. Maybe I should have given her a chance to explain. Maybe there was some explanation I wasn't seeing. But then I look at all the evidence again, the hotel charges, the phone records, the lies, and I know I was doing the right thing. My daughter was upset with me, said I was breaking up the family, that I should at least wait to talk to her mom before moving out. I told her there were things she didn't understand, that her mom had done something that broke my trust. She asked what. I didn't tell her. I didn't want to turn the kids against their mother, even though part of me wanted to. My wife called the night before she was supposed to come home, said she was excited to see us, that she missed us, that she had so much to tell us about the conference. I said we'd missed her too. Didn't mention that I wouldn't be there when she got home. Figured she would find out soon enough. She texted me around 2 p.m. saying she was on her way home, that she would be there in a few hours. I didn't respond. I was at my brother's place with the kids. My daughter was doing homework. My son was playing video games. I was just sitting there waiting for my phone to ring. It took about 3 hours. Then my phone started blowing up. Texts, calls, voicemails, all from my wife. Where are you? Why is all your stuff gone? What is this letter? Call me right now. We need to talk. On and on. I didn't answer. Let her sit with it for a while. Let her feel what I'd been feeling for the last week. Finally, after about 20 calls, I answered. She was crying, asking what was going on, why I'd moved out, what the letter meant. I told her I knew about Tahoe. I knew about her ex. I knew she'd been lying about where she was. She tried to deny it at first, said I was wrong, that she'd been at the conference in San Diego, that I could call her company and verify it. I told her I'd already seen the credit card charges, saw the reservation for the hotel bill from Tahoe, seen the phone records showing hundreds of calls to her ex. Well, after that, the cat had her tongue. Then she tried a different approach. She said, okay, yes, she'd been in Tahoe, but it wasn't what I thought. She said she'd run into her ex a few months ago, that they'd reconnected as friends, that this trip was just two old friends catching up, said nothing physical happened, that I was overreacting. I asked her why she lied then. If it was just two old friends catching up, why tell me she was at a work conference in San Diego? Why hide it? She didn't have a good answer for that. Just kept saying she knew I wouldn't understand, that I'd get jealous, that it was easier to just not mention it. I told her I'd seen the photo from 2 months ago, the weekend she said she was visiting her college roommate in San Diego. She'd actually been in Reno with him. She tried to explain that away too, said she had visited her roommate, that she just stopped in Reno on the way. I asked her how stopping in Reno on the way to San Diego made any sense when Reno is northeast of Sacramento and San Diego is straight south. They're in completely opposite directions. She didn't have an answer. I told her I was done listening to lies, that I will file for divorce, that my lawyer had all the evidence, that she could expect to be served with papers soon. She started begging, said we could work through this, that she would end things with him, that she would do whatever it took to save our marriage. I asked her point blank, "Are you in love with him?" She didn't answer right away. That told me everything I needed to know. Finally, she said she didn't know, that she was confused, that she needed time to figure out her feelings. I told her she had plenty of time. 10 days in Tahoe, apparently. She made her choice. She asked about the kids. I told her they were with me, that they knew we were having problems, but I hadn't told them the details. She said she wanted to see them. I said she could, but not at the house. We arranged something neutral. She started crying again, saying this wasn't how things were supposed to go, that she never meant to hurt anyone. I told her that's the thing about affairs. Nobody ever means to hurt anyone, but they do it anyway. She made a choice to lie to me, to sneak around, to spend 10 days with another man while I was home taking care of our kids. Those were her choices. Now she had to live with the consequences. The divorce took almost 2 years to finalize. She fought it at first, tried to claim I'd abandoned the marital home by moving out. My lawyer shut that down with all the evidence of her affair. The judge did consider her use of marital funds for the affair when dividing some assets, though California's community property laws meant the split was still fairly even overall. Still, she ended up with slightly less than she would have if the judge hadn't factored in her behavior. The kids split time between us now, week on, week off. It's not ideal, but it's working. My daughter's still upset with me sometimes, thinks I gave up too easily. I've tried to explain to her that some things you can't come back from, but she's 14. She doesn't get it yet. Maybe someday she will. My son's doing okay. He's younger, adapts easier. He just wants both his parents to be happy. I'm working on that part. As for my ex-wife, last I heard, she's still with her ex-boyfriend. They're living together in Reno. Good for them, I guess. They deserve each other. She tried to reach out a few months after the divorce was finalized, said she wanted to apologize, wanted to explain. I told her she didn't have to say anything to me. We were only bonded by our kids. She made her choices, I made mine. We were done. The whole thing taught me a lot, mainly that you can be with someone for 16 years and still not really know them. You can trust someone completely and have that trust thrown back in your face. You can build a whole life with someone and watch them tear it down for someone else. But I also learned that I'm stronger than I thought. I could have stayed, could have tried to work through it, gone to counseling, given her another chance. A lot of people do that, but I knew myself well enough to know I'd never trust her again. Every time she went on a work trip, every time she was late coming home, every time she was on her phone, I would wonder. And that's no way to live. If you're going through something similar, here's my advice. Trust your gut. If something does not feel right, do not ignore it. Don't ignore the signs because you don't want to believe it. And if you find out your partner's been lying to you, don't let them gaslight you into thinking you're overreacting. You're not. Your feelings are valid. And if they're dumb enough to go on a 10-day trip with their affair partner while you're home, use that time wisely. Document everything. Talk to a lawyer. Make a plan. Don't just sit there waiting for them to come home so you can have a conversation. They've already shown you who they are. Believe them. My wife's work trip was actually 10 days with her ex. I moved out while she was gone. Best decision I ever made. Well, in my opinion, his wife was a piece of work. A 10-day trip with her ex isn't a mistake. It's a calculated betrayal. She looked him in the eye, kissed him goodbye, and lied through her teeth. Her excuses were pathetic. Just friends, don't need 10 secret days in a hotel. When she couldn't even answer if she loved him, that was her answer. He didn't give up. He showed self-respect. While she was on her little vacation, he was getting his life in order. What he did wasn't petty, it was powerful. He handed her the consequences of her actions the second she walked in the door. Anyone who says he should have talked it out is a fool. Talk about what? The weather? She made her choice. He just made the best one of his life by leaving.